Hey, what's going on? It's your old buddy Fletch, and this is Farming with Fletch. And right now, I am watering the garden. So we've recently been asked a few things about the garden, and they were involving the new weed barrier that we started using this year. As you can see, we didn't plant the entire garden up like we usually do. We planted just enough to be efficient, I guess you'd say. We planted real late. We didn't get everything done in time. But as far as weed barrier goes, this weed barrier has been awesome. If you look all around the fence line of the garden, that's the way the inside of the garden usually looks. This right here is how the garden looks. I mean, there's a weed right over there, just a little bitty one that's popping up. And I can just go right over there and pick it, and then I'm done. I'm done weeding. That's it. Pull that out of there and throw it on top. This is cool enough that you can see she's out here walking on it. The baby walks on it with no shoes all the time. It doesn't burn your feet. It doesn't burn the crops. Another question. She's telling you all about it. So another question we've been asked is about how it absorbs. This is the expensive weed mat. This is the DeWitt or whatever it's called. You can see that I poured water on here just a second ago, and it is absorbed in. This over here is the cheap stuff, and if you can see, it's all setting on top. It hasn't absorbed in. That's the problem with the cheaper weed mat, is that it doesn't absorb in very good. You have to really put it right where the hole is in order to water that crop. On this stuff, you can go all the way around and it'll absorb in just a little bit of time. So we really like the expensive barrier from DeWitt, I believe is who it was called. That's what we're going to get, and we're going to finish out the garden with that next year. And we're also going to go around the fence line with it to kind of do a little more barrier control. But yeah, as far as the weeds, I mean, this is part of our watermelon patch right here. It's just huge. No weeds in it. Normally there'd be weeds all popped up all over that. We can't just walk around out there. So yeah, here we got some green beans popping. But yeah, the barrier has been great. I would highly recommend it. I don't think we overlapped it far enough, so we do have the occasional weed popping up in between. I'd like to get more of it and overlap more of it. But this is supposed to have a 5-year lifespan on it, so we're just going to leave it out here and see how it goes through the winter and see what happens there. The cheap stuff over there, you can see it's raveling up pretty bad, and it's really starting to spread apart. So would not invest in the cheap stuff unless you were going to cover it completely right after you laid it down, because it starts to break down pretty bad. But this stuff is pretty good. We have 8 watermelons. I was just informed by our Sophia over here. We have 8 watermelons out there, and they're pretty good sized watermelons. Let me go over here and show you guys our watermelons. We picked one yesterday. There's one. It's pretty good size. That sucker's about 18 inches long there. There's another big one right there. Big one right there. There's a little bitty one right there just starting to grow. But I picked some cucumbers off this cucumber plant here. It's been taken over by watermelon. There's another big watermelon right there. That's about 14 inches long, but you can see here, I mean, not every one of them popped up either, but we didn't go back and reseed. This is what popped up. That's what we have. Look at all of our zucchini over here. They're producing like crazy. Watermelons producing like crazy. Our cucumbers, our beans. I mean, we didn't plant a whole lot, but we were wanting to see what the weed mat was like, and we love it. So that's what we think about the weed mat. And until the next time I make one of these videos, you all stay awesome.